So how do you prepare yourself to write the curriculum?
Well, the first thing I do is pray, and there's different times that the Lord will drop certain subjects in my heart that I'm supposed to teach kids. And then I spend a lot of time studying, reading the Bible. If I'm teaching on faith, I buy books on faith and so on. And then I always say to my volunteers to preach out of your overflow. I don't want to see them standing up reading the curriculum to the class, but for them to pray, study, make it their own, so when they get up they're preaching out of their overflow.
How do you respond to people who may think that these subjects are too deep to teach kids?
Well, the quick response to that is, if it's in the Bible, we can preach it to kids. Jesus told us to go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. There's no age qualification for that. He didn't say preach to every creature over 18 or over 12. He said preach the gospel to every creature. Many times in the Bible, there are times when kids were more sensitive to the things of God than the adults were. A good example of that is Eli and Samuel. We see where Samuel was more sensitive to the Lord and obedient to the Lord than Eli was.
Why focus on a single topic for each lesson?
Mom and Dad pick up their son or their daughter and they say, hey, what'd you learn about in church today? They can tell them what they learned about that day. The bottom line is what we call it. So right after the adventures of the masked hero, we have a media element that pops up that says, what's the bottom line? And I ask my teachers to repeat that bottom line over and over and over again. Of course, kids have changed a lot, and so our methods have to change, but there's 5 principles that worked 30 years ago, and they still work today. Number 1 is to preach the Bible. We're not just entertaining kids, and I see a lot of churches that get into that. Their focus is entertaining and just kind of occupying them and keeping their attention for an hour and a half. But there's no need to do that if we're not actually preaching the Bible. Sometimes people think they can improve on it or make it better, but the Bible's worked for thousands of years and it still works today. Take the Bible and make it real today. And I think the best way to do that is to tell stories about when you were a kid, or be transparent with the kids, even as an adult, something that you struggled with. Talk about that. So telling stories takes the Bible and brings it into real life. And everybody kind of understands that kids have attention spans that are shorter than most adults. And so you need to keep things moving. Now, when I started 30 years ago, the experts used to say that you had a minute for every age. In other words, if you were teaching 10-year-olds, you have about a 10-minute attention span. In the past 30 years, I would say you could cut that in half. 10-year-olds have about a 5-minute attention span. The reason for that, of course, is video games and the movies. You know, you see where the editing is really quick. I think each edit is 6 or 7 seconds long. And so in Children's Church, we need to keep things moving, even more so with this generation. So you don't change your subject, you focus on one subject, but you change your method every 5 minutes. Kids don't get it just because you preach it one time. You need to say it over and over again, and that's what we do with the bottom line. That's why we have the review questions at the end of each lesson. And at the end of each quarter, each teaching series, we have a fun review game that is just kind of a big game, makes things fun for the kids, but at the same time, there's a method to our madness, and we want the kids to really learn the Word where it sticks with them for a lifetime. And last is be funny. You can't be serious all the time with kids, and so we have things that are funny, like the Masked Hero, our drama skits. Our short films are designed to interject humor, and so somebody once said, the sandwich method works good. Do something funny, something serious in the middle, and something funny at the end. And when you get the kids to laugh, they kind of open up their hearts. You're sowing into them, and so that they'll pay attention when you're preaching the Bible and you're talking to them about something serious.
And we continue to develop more all the time. Whether you're looking to take your ministry to the next level, you would like to update or enhance your current Superchurch curriculum, or maybe you've been searching for media elements to infuse into your lessons, Superchurch 2.0 is guaranteed to be a hit with teachers, parents, and kids alike. For more information, please visit us on the web at superchurch.com, 800-798-4872.